There's no hidden fees, no contracts, no data caps, and free installation. Plus, Laporte residents that call today get surf 1 gig fiber internet, including one Wi-Fi whole house router powered by Eero, all for one flat monthly price of $65 guaranteed. Call 855-528-SURF or go to iwantfiber.today. This is a limited time offer, subject to change. All speeds not available in some areas.
On airline or by email to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is a topic-based program, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, concise, and related to the topic being discussed. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the hosts or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media LLC, or the sponsors. The Liquor Vault on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. This is Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Hello, friends. My name's Nate Laux. Today is Friday, January 28th, and you are listening to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle. Glad to have you with us today for a topic show. No guest will be with us, just you, me, producer Woogie, and whatever we got to talk about. Well, today we're going to have a conversation about the local income tax that's been proposed here in Laporte County. I'm going to explain it to you a little bit more if you haven't been paying attention. We'll get your opinions on it. We'll talk a little bit more about it. If you've got an opinion on the local income tax, you don't need me to explain it to you. You've already firmed up your ideas on it. You're welcome to call the Liquor Vault on-air line at 219-362-0522, or you could text me at that same number, 219-362-0522. I tell you what, earlier today I went to a elementary spelling bee, and it was the most stress I've ever experienced in my life. My son did not win. I'm going to tell you that right now. He missed out on a word. I think columns was the word. The poor kid, right? He has me as his dad. I can barely talk. I can't spell. Getting into the spelling bee is a big accomplishment for him. But if you've never been to an elementary spelling bee, I tell you what, it's riveting. It's stressful. It's anxiety-inducing, and good job to Riley Elementary for doing that. I also wanted to update you on some races that we see in the primary coming up. We're seeing some now. You still have time. If you've been listening to the show for a while and you're like, hey, I'd really like to be a part of, helping lead our community, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or Libertarian, step up. Go ahead and do that. There's many different things at different levels, different requirements. You don't have to run for commission. You can run for township trustee or township board or school board or whatever. But here's some races that we're watching here closely. County council right now, there are two candidates. We've got in the District 1 County Council, we've got Democratic Mike Kellums and Republican Adam Karanka right now. Those are the only two running right now. So in the primary, they're running unopposed. County Council 2 is Democratic current president Randy Novak of the council, and then Republican Aaron Kirk. County Council 3, 3rd District, is Democratic Mark Yagelski. I don't think Mark has a challenger that's a Republican or a primary challenger in the Democratic race at all right now. County Council 4 is Democrat Lynn Spivak versus Republican Mike Rosenbaum, who's an incumbent. County Commissioner District 1 is Democratic President of the Commission Sheila Matias versus Republican Elizabeth Bergeron. Sheila's obviously the incumbent there. And then Laporte County Assessor Mike Schultz, the Democrat, is running unopposed right now. And then, the race that I'm really interested in, if I can be honest with you right now, is this sheriff race. There's so many candidates running right now. Good candidates. I know some of these people personally. Good guys. Right now we have 5 candidates that have announced that they're running. Maybe we'll see some more. Who knows? Let's get to a baker's dozen if you want. Currently, we've got Democratic candidate Andy Heineck running, Republican candidate Andrew Morse, Republican Ron Heeg, Democratic candidate James Arnold, and Democratic candidate Al Ott Jr. So those are your kind of races right now. We've obviously got trustee races. I won't go through all those. But of the major county races, those are the ones we've got. We'll be interviewing those, I'm sure, on the show in the next couple months. And if you've got any questions for them, we'd be happy to hear from you. So we've got a conversation today about the local income tax. I want to explain this real quick to you. So there's essentially 4 ways that the state of Indiana collects taxes, and our taxes pay for our schools, they pay for our roads, they pay for our services, right? Our police, our fire, these kind of things. And the local income tax is a part of our income tax. So if you remember, right, there's about, our income tax in Indiana is about 3.23%. And then we've got a sales tax at 7%. We've got property taxes, which is a maximum of 1% of property value. You've heard on the show Mayor Dermody talk about tax caps, these kind of things. Then we've got the excise taxes, which are your motor vehicle taxes, your alcohol, tobacco, wheel taxes, gasoline taxes. Those are taxes for using things, right? Well, in addition to the income tax, that 3.23% flat tax that you and I pay on our income, there's also the ability for counties, individual counties, to do a local income tax. That's where LIT comes from, local income tax. And they can have up to a certain amount of money that goes just directly back to the county from your income. Currently, right now, most counties, I think almost all counties, if not all counties in Indiana, have a local income tax, but they can be at different levels. Laporte County has one of the lowest LIT taxes. I think it's the 6th lowest in the state. And there's a proposal to take it from 0.95% to 1.45%. So a 0.5% increase in taxes that would then pay for fire, it would pay for police, it would pay for those things, and only be used for emergency responders. The question is should this happen? Should there be an increase in taxes? What do you think about this? Is it worth paying more taxes to make sure that our first responders and our police officers are well taken care of? As we've reported on hometownnewsnow.com, there's lots of EMS and police officers going to different communities because they're getting paid $10,000 to $20,000 more to work just in a county over. What do we do for that? How do we get good qualified people to want to stay to work in Laporte County and our fire and our police? If not raising the revenue to get more money to pay them, how do we do it? So we're talking about that on the show today. The Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. Let's get you your first caller. Hey, thanks so much for calling the show. What's your thought on the local income tax?
Boy, where to begin?
Hey, is this Steve? Is this
yes,
Steve?
Sir, it is.
I knew you. I told myself when I woke up, I'm going to have a conversation on the local income tax, and I bet Steve's going to call. So
Yes, I will, because I have spoke at the last couple of county council meetings about this, and I want to say exactly what I said last time. This is a city issue right now. The county needs to address it instead of kicking the can down the road. Now, a lot of people didn't hear the last part of that because they didn't want to. Mm-hmm. But anyway, right off the bat, we wouldn't feel so concerned about this if they would show some good faith effort to cut. Some true leadership is not all about staying in office. Leadership has decisions to be made that are not popular. Chalmers, Whirlpool, all those businesses that left Laporte, those were leadership decisions that says, we can't stay here anymore, we're sorry, move on. They're not always popular. Mm-hmm. Right off the bat, the numbers that they let us see and use, part-time help's about $2 million a year. Now, if you're going to get rid of part-time help, it means you're going to give a raise to the full-time help. Full-time help that gets a raise needs to work harder, just like in the private sector. Technology. Dennis isn't there today, but I'm sure he could answer this, that there's probably less people working for the radio station than there was 20 years ago because of technology. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We have snowplows in the county, but yet we hire out snowplow services for certain parking areas. Grass. We mow grass, but we also hire out some to mow grass. Janitors. Did we not have clean janitorial services before Mr. Mrzinski's daughter owned a service? They're using these scare tactics called public safety and COVID and that to invoke fear in you. Now, asking the other cities, hey, would you mind if the county took the heat and raised taxes and let you have some of that? That's like the hen garden or the fox garden hen house. Of course they're going to say yes. Now, no one is saying that our fire, police, EMS don't deserve more. No one is saying that at all. If they look beyond that, they'd realize taxpayers are their allies. Excuse me for my breath. I'm still fighting bronchitis a little bit. Taxing the employees to give them a raise would be like going to Walmart, giving the greeter $1. Oh, but by the way, you're going to get $1.50 discount once you go in. Mm-hmm. So again, they need to be treated better, yes. But as it looks at all other businesses across the country, raising wages does not guarantee you're going to get these people to stay. Mm-hmm. And what's not to guarantee these other municipalities are not going to continue to raise their taxes. They have a far bigger tax base than us. We need some better economic development at the helm of the county. And I'm just going to say this at the very end here. Mm-hmm. Anybody that votes for this tax, people, pay attention. Vote them out this fall. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much for calling. We're talking about the local income tax that's been proposed in Laporte County, getting your opinion on it. We've got different ideas on it. Obviously, Steve just called, and Steve's a regular listener here, and he's against it. And so maybe you're for it, maybe you're against it. You can call me at 219-362-0522 or text me at 219-362-0522. I'd love to talk to you today. Let's get to another caller. Hey, what is your thoughts on the local income tax that's been proposed here in Laporte County?
Well, I had a lot of thoughts, but now listening to that last caller try to blow a lot of smoke, this isn't a county issue. The city can't put in a lit. It's a county that has to do it. He says it's a city issue. County EMS, Laporte County Sheriff, those are county departments also that are losing a lot of people and getting a lot of young people and losing all the senior people. So that's a smokescreen. And to say, well, I think they deserve it, but then not do nothing about it, you're just blowing smoke. I am for this tax. I live in the county. I work in the county. I own property in the county. My wife owns a business in the county. So they need to understand this tax in the first place. 71 of 90 counties have passed this tax. And the reason we're losing people to other counties is because these other counties have had this tax and have been able to pay their people more. This county's always stuck in the dark ages. It's pretty ridiculous. And the lit tax came about because they cut property taxes. Because as a property owner in your property taxes, you are the ones paying for the service. They cut your property taxes and allowed the counties to put this lit tax forward so every employee can help share the burden of these services. Everybody wants these services. Oh, the roads are bad. Oh, this. Oh, wait, we got to pay for it? Oh, no. It's ridiculous. And I would go on the other side. As someone who has a lot of friends in this county, and I know all the police, fire, medics have family, friends are all for this, anyone who doesn't vote for this tax should be voted out of office. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yeah, and I want to correct one thing there that, every county does have a lit tax. Not every county has a public safety lit tax. And so Laporte County is one that does not have a public safety part of their lit tax. But the lowest local income tax is Porter County, and they don't have a public safety. But again, more and more counties are going to it. As I was doing research for this show, I mean, just Google local income tax in Indiana because the state legislature continues to cut taxes. It requires that county taxes then have to go up to offset the costs of income that they're losing. So let's get to another caller here. Thanks so much for calling the show. Thanks for listening. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
How are you today?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing okay. I'm warm in the studio right now, so all is well.
I hear you there. Well, everybody needs money. I mean, the county and the state. I mean, the city pays for everything. I got a question. What happened? When the lottery came in, they said, "Well, the lottery money is going to pay for the schooling and all this." Where's that money at?
Well, I'd assume it's for the schools, and they only can use it for those things. A lot of the taxes essentially get earmarked for one purpose, and only that purpose can that tax get used. So I don't know what the lottery, maybe somebody can text me here at the show, 219-362-0522, what the lottery goes for, what that tax goes for. But I assume it's probably for schools or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, and you have a good day.
Hey, take care, buddy. Thanks so much for calling. Let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. Thanks for calling. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Yes, the local income tax. You know, I listen to all this a lot, and you hear these comments, and yeah, I'm for the tax. The tax needs to be raised, without a doubt. But they talk about fire, EMS, and everything like that. What about these guys plowing the snow? Because you get 10 inches of snow on the ground. Is that fire truck going to be able to go? Is that EMS going to be able to go? Is that police car going to be able to go? Nope, they sure won't. But they get forgotten about a lot, just like they did with their whole deal with the ARP bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we'll spread that out over the course of 2 years for our fine county council members. So the one gentleman is right. You better look long and hard this season when it's time to vote and vote them out. Thank you.
Thanks so much for calling. All right, we're going to take our first break of the show and get back to your calls here, your opinions on the local income tax. If you've got something to say, the Liquor Vault on-air line is 219-362-0522. You're welcome to call me or text me. We could talk a little bit more about the local income tax and what your thoughts are on it, rather. But most importantly, keep it right here at 96.7 The Eagle.
Ben Conowitz here, Laporte Seamless Gutter, 219-362-9972. You know, fall is here, and that means leaves and debris for your gutter system. We've got 3 separate types of gutter guard for your home. Leaves and debris come in all shapes and sizes. We don't need a one-size-fits-all for your gutter. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 219-362-9972, or you can visit us on the web, www.lpseamless.com.
Join 96.7 The Eagle every Sunday morning from 9 to 9:30 a.m. for Bethany Church's Sound Up. Enlighten your Sunday morning with inspirational words of faith from Pastor Dennis Meyer. Bethany Church's Sound Up every Sunday morning from 9 to 9:30 a.m. on 96.7 The Eagle.
Buying a new vehicle is a big decision. I don't want to feel forgotten the minute I leave the dealership. But at Michigan City Hyundai, they put people first, making my entire buying experience better. I browsed online and went in store to look at the new 2022 Tucson. Finally, I purchased with everything I needed and left confidently.
Get even more coverage with Hyundai Assurance and America's best 10-year or 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Visit MichiganCityHyundai.com.
You don't like buying a car this way. Stuck in a job that sucks? Here's another job opportunity from HometownNewsNow.com.
Master Roll has first shift opportunities for maintenance, machinists, and general laborers. Master Roll in New Carlisle offers flexible start times, voluntary weekend overtime, competitive benefits including medical, PTO, 401k, training, tuition, and more. Interviews on site Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, or apply at master-roll.com.
This has been a Jobs Spotlight Extra. Look under Hot Topics at HometownNewsNow.com for job details.
Michiana weather. 20 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies, northerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for snow showers tonight, 0. Highs around 19 tomorrow. From the Weather Center at HometownNewsNow.com. Right now, 19.
Thank you for tuning in to Sound Off. You can now text or email your questions directly to the studio. Call or text 362-0522 or email your questions to soundoff@967theeagle.com. This is Sound Off.
Welcome back, friends, to today's Sound Off. We're talking about the local income tax that the county and the cities are talking about. We currently have a local income tax of 0.95%. But none of that local income tax is dedicated to public safety. And so the question is, should the county, that would then filter down to some of the cities as well, put forward a property tax, an income tax, a local income tax that would just fund our emergency services, police and fire and EMT and things like that, which would then hopefully, I think theoretically, the goal would be then that would help pay these people a better wage and keep them here. And again, they'd not have to go elsewhere to look for employment. We've got a couple texts, then we'll get to your callers. One, I am against increasing the local income tax. The city of Laporte has kept hiring more and more non-public safety workers over the years. Why not reverse the growth of government? I imagine the county is the same way. Use the reduced number of employees to give public safety employees a raise. Yeah, the issue with that I see is anytime they talk about budgeting, and I do watch those budgeting meetings from the county, all of the departments say they've got essential staff, and nobody really has any ideas to cut. Finally, the mayor gave raises to the police and fire without having the funding for it. Now he wants the county to step up for his mistake. That's tough. You created the problem. You should solve it with money from the city's coffers. All right, let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the show. Thanks for calling. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Well, first thing you do before you raise taxes is you start looking for major cuts if you can to offset that. The first thing you do is get rid of a $400,000 county attorney who's been blowing our cash, and you get rid of his sidekick, Mr. Merzinski, that's been helping that guy along. That's the first two things you do there. Thanks.
All right, let's get to another caller here. Thanks so much for calling the show. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Hi, this is Laporte FOP Lodge 54 president.
Hey, buddy.
I'm calling because I'm going to talk from experience more than smoke screen.
Yeah, please do.
Steve had attended the Laporte County Council meeting, and he came forward with the same thing, that it's a city issue and not a county issue. And he didn't apparently pay attention that when I got up there to talk and explained why it's a county issue. So I'm gonna answer to that now again. So hopefully he's listening. This is a countywide issue. Right now our lid is based off of 0.95. Okay, we're looking. The county should look into raising it up a 0.5%, which would bring it to 1.45, which is still below the state average at 1.78. Our surrounding counties are well above us, which is why they're able to afford to pay their employees more. They're paying them more, which is making Laporte County suffer because we have employees, police, fire, EMS, noticing this. They can just go over a county over and get paid more. So what this does is puts us at a minimum shift a lot because of manpower issues. When we get manpower issues and minimum shift, we have to start prioritizing calls based off severity. And I hate to paint the picture this way, but like let's say there's a domestic issue, and we already have officers tied up, and they can't leave a call because of the situation at hand. Well, then there's a domestic. Get to it eventually, but let's say if we get to it later and it turns into much worse of a problem if we were able to get to it sooner. We experience these type of calls a lot. We had a situation where there was a couple accidents in Laporte, and we had to wait for a medic rig to come from Michigan City to respond. So with that being said, it's definitely a county issue. County EMS works for county. They service Laporte County wide. If they're having to come from different jurisdictions just to fill the calls, that's an issue. I'd rather have county EMS coming from closer than farther.
All right.
Now, with just saying it's city employees, no, that's not true. The Sheriff's Department's actually had two deputies recently put in their notice. One's transferring to another department. The other one's going private sector. I also know of 3 that are in the process of going private sector. Think about this. When's the last time that you seen an officer, you're like, oh, I've never seen him before? County, city, Michigan City, it doesn't matter. It's because our departments are young departments because of all these transfers. Laporte City alone had 5 officers go to South Bend and 2 go to Chesterton within the last couple of years. And that's creating a young department. And what does that mean? Well, we have no choice but to train officers with young officers, so they're not getting the best training from experienced officers like they should. And people are suffering from it, because they got these officers that are trained by younger officers and not really know exactly how to handle a situation if they were trained by an experienced one. That's all I have to say about it, and I appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks so much for calling. I appreciate your experience on this. Let's get to another caller here. Thanks so much for calling. Thanks for listening to the show. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Nate, this is good, buddy. Thanks for bringing it up, and we really appreciate all you do. This is good. Oh, my God. Hey, first of all, we got to keep an eye on the crows. The crows always come in when they're hungry. So the city comes in And God bless Tom Dermody, Mayor Tom Dermody, great guy. This is what really gripes a taxpayer is when you can't vote for these people outside your jurisdiction, but yet they come in and crow that we've got to raise our taxes so they can benefit from it. That just burns the back end of everybody's back end, and it's not fair. Now, the guy that was just on complaining about this guy going here, that woman going there, hey, Nate, you can do the same thing going to WIMS, WeFM radio, any place in the Tri-County area, the Tri-State area. That's up to each individual what they want to do with their life. But when you got outside crows, duly elected officials coming into our duly elected official arena saying that we have to raise our taxes so they can benefit, that's going to stop right now. That's going to stop. Let's go to their jurisdictions. Since we can't vote for them, let's go through their city budgets, find out what their problem is, and I guarantee you we'll find probably 70% of their problems, if not 100%, and say, if you make this adjustments, you got more than enough for your city industries to make it work, as far as the municipalities, as far as the police, fire, whatever they need. We're not against them, none whatsoever. They're the finest people on the planet Earth to take those positions, the police, the fire department, the EMS. They're great, all the volunteers out there that don't get paid. They're fantastic. But don't put that on our backs as an excuse. They have their free option, free will to do what they want in life, where they want to go and what they want to do. Don't come to our jurisdictions that we can't vote for you and say we owe you. That's going to stop right now. So we're totally against that. Now, and for him to come in and say we're still going to be 20% under all the other 92 counties, bless our neighbors in their surrounding county areas. We love visiting there. We love fellowshipping with them. But I don't care what they do under their umbrella. Don't come to our umbrella and compare these stats that we're still going to be the cheapest. This is all smoke and mirrors to benefit people that we can't vote for in their jurisdictions. Stop it. We're not going to have this division anymore. It's over. So I'm not for it, none whatsoever. So, hey, Nate, keep up that good work.
Yeah, thanks.
Tell Tim Hunter we said hi and get well.
Will do. Thanks so much, buddy. I appreciate that the last caller believes that anyone else would hire me in the radio world. Dennis Adele regularly reminds me of the opposite nearly almost every day. So thank you so much for that. All right, let's do one more call before our break. Hey, thanks so much for calling the show. Thanks for listening. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Hey, is that me?
Yeah, that's you, buddy. That's you.
Hey, Nate. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. The last caller said that maybe somebody else would hire me, so I'm on cloud nine right now.
Well, it is America. We operate under the capitalist system. You can always go to the private sector if you don't like where you're at, and that's kind of something I wanted to touch on. This is Chris Throgmorton, and I'm loving the show. I'm loving all the calls. There's a lot of very good opposing points of view. And I just sort of wanted to highlight a few things that I've heard, a few different callers touch on. And that's a lot of this it's very much a county issue. If all the county taxpayers are paying this tax and it's, for public safety, there's a lot of public safety rhetoric. And I think I'm going to surprise a lot of people in saying that I do believe that our local, first responders should be adequately compensated for the duties that they perform, which I can't even put into words. Here in America, our mindset, you wake up every day and feel safe knowing that this is a reality. First responders showing up to an emergency, an accident, a point in time where you may become a victim is it's as right as rain. It's no different than the sun coming up every morning. This is something that we pretty much count on. Mm-hmm. And I'm a strong advocate for accountability within public service. So it's sort of something that I'm noticing is that, and excuse me, I could be wrong on this, but growing up in America, one of the social cues I've gotten is that taxation and representation, they sort of go hand in hand. That's the great part about America is we are not taxed without representation. So I figured I would point out that a lot of this seems to be correlated to the fact that our representatives can't seem to find a way to stop fighting amongst each other over trivial nonsense in the public forums that we pay for to provide them an opportunity to handle government business.
Sure.
You see, a lot of this could probably be solved if they were concerned with first responders all the time, like actually doing the duties of their job instead of, we could actually probably charge a local circus tax to watch public meetings soon. And based upon how much they're criticizing us and our right to speak, I wouldn't be surprised if you had to pay to enter soon. But there's not a whole lot of accountability from our representatives, and they're supposed to represent us. And so if we look at this from a societal standpoint, social accountability is defined as basically an action resulting in us having the information. If our representatives are doing a poor job compensating our first responders, this is where we need to really focus on, is that they can trim the fat. There's a lot of stuff that can be reevaluated, analyzed to see where budget cuts can be made. There's a lot of commotion right now because these representatives that we have can't seem to find a way to take millions and millions and millions of dollars that they already had before and millions of dollars that they're using now and pay our public servants properly.
All right. Thanks so much for calling. We've got so many other callers. I got to get to a commercial break, though. We're past due for a commercial break. We'll be back here on 96.7 in just a few minutes.
Car problems often strike at the absolute worst times, but you can rest well knowing that Cannon's Automotive Service is here for you and dedicated to get you back on the road with prompt, efficient, same-day service. The same Cannon's commitment that Laporte has trusted for over 50 years. Cannon's Automotive Service, now with 2 locations, 710 Tyler Street and 909 Boyd Boulevard.
With Cannon's Automotive, we fix everything.
At Meijer, you'll save when you shop using M-Perks. And this week, get it delivered right to your door with free home delivery on orders of $35 or more. Clip the coupons in the Meijer app and start saving on things like Kellogg's Pop-Tarts or Bites, 2 for $4. And Gain detergent just $12.99, both with M-Perks. Plus, save $10 on your total home delivery or pickup order of $100 or more with M-Perks coupon. And don't miss free home delivery on orders of $35 or more, now through Saturday. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
For the best selection and the lowest prices on your beer, wine, and spirits, look no further than Verk's Discount Liquors. Not sure what to bring to the party? Stop by the newly opened Verk's Discount Liquors at the corner of Highway 421 and 400 North in Michigan City. Be sure to check out the discounts when you purchase by the case. They also have several other stores throughout Laporte and Michigan City for your convenience. Time to get the party started? Check out Verk's Discount Liquors.
Stuck in a job that sucks? Here's another job opportunity from HometownNewsNow.com.
Lewis Bakeries at 800 Boyd Boulevard in Laporte is hiring with a starting wage of $19.05 an hour. Overtime after 8 hours is $28.57. You are paid weekly with holidays, personal time, vacation time, and did we mention the incredible benefits? Scheduled interviews through the week and open interviews every Friday, 8 a.m. until 2 p.m.
This has been a Jobs Spotlight Extra. Look under Hot Topics at HometownNewsNow.com for job details.
You know, with so many things going on around the area, it's really hard to keep up with this and that, and where is it all taking place? Especially when the weekend arrives and, hey, you're looking for something to do and all of a sudden, you forgot. Well, not anymore. Let us introduce you to the Weekend Entertainment Guide. Heard every Thursday and Friday here on 96.7 The Eagle. We'll list your nonprofit event on the air for everyone to hear. Also, we'll list it on our website at hometownnewsnow.com for others to see. Just visit hometownnewsnow.com, click on the Submit tab, and fill out the form and contact us for payment as we take credit or debit cards. It's the Weekend Entertainment Guide every Thursday and Friday here on your station for country music variety, 96.7 The Eagle. And don't forget to visit our website at hometownnewsnow.com. It's the Weekend Entertainment Guide on 96.7 The Eagle and at hometownnewsnow.com.
We're waiting to hear from you. Dial or text 362-0522 and let us know what you think. That's 362-0522. Back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
Welcome back to our final segment of Sound Off, everyone. Glad to have you on the show today. We've got lots of callers, texts. We'll certainly have another conversation on this, maybe even next week, because I know it's a topic that many people are concerned about, and I do want to hear you. We're going to time you to about 2 minutes to keep you going. We've got a text that came in here real quick. In 2014, the Indiana State Legislature passed a law that cut the corporate income tax from 8.5 to 6.25 in 2 years, with then more decreases to 4.9%. Why don't we ever talk about increasing the corporate tax rates? Why do we just keep on putting the tax burden on the citizens? All right, let's get to another caller. Thanks so much for listening to the show today. Thanks for holding. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Hello, Nate. This is Mike Mulcrone from Laporte Fire Department.
Hey, buddy.
I'm the union president. Hey, how you doing? First of all, I'd like to thank you for addressing the local income tax on your show. This is awesome to have this conversation out there. And then second of all, I don't think that the people of Laporte and Laporte City and Laporte County get enough credit for supporting us public safety workers. We'd really like to thank them also. All of us firefighters know that without the support of the community, we wouldn't be able to wake up every day, do our job,
Yeah.
and we love our job. So with the LIT, we're asking community support to continue support with the money that they're providing through public safety. We're continuing to grow this great county. We want to make sure that we have enough employees that are able to respond to the calls that we're getting. We're getting these cluster calls now for medical and fire calls where we're sending all these employees in all different directions. And with that, we don't have enough employees to allot to each of the calls. So this isn't all about pay. Because obviously we do not do our jobs for the pay. We get paid all right, and we love the fact that, the people of the county support us. But moreover, we want to have veteran professionals handling all these calls so that we're able to do our job to the best of our ability. We just want to have enough people on scene to make sure that everyone's safe and everyone's handled, especially in a medical emergency or fire. So thank you very much, and have a good day.
Yeah, thanks so much for calling, buddy. Let's get to another caller. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Thanks for holding. What's your thoughts on the local income tax? I don't hear anybody. Do you hear anybody? No, let's get to another caller. Thanks so much for calling. Thanks for waiting. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Well, how you doing, Nate?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, can't complain. I'll tell you something funny. I got a 1% cost of living on my pension. Now the county's wanting another 1% tax, right?
Mm-hmm. Half
so
percent.
easy
Hey,
come.
0.5%. You get the other 0.5%. All right.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'll be able to keep half of that COLA increase.
Yep.
But am I correct in this? Now, on my statement, it says LOC tax. That's local tax, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
So will this, what they're talking about now, be a different tax or just an increase on that?
It's an increase on that. Yep. It's an increase. Right now it's 0.95. It would go up to 1.45%.
Okay. So with that being said, where does this money go now that they're taking out of my pension?
Well,
the local tax.
I can tell you right now, it does not go to public safety. It does go to different things that are in the community. There's different. Essentially, there are different types of lit tax, different categories of lit tax. You can use some for public safety, which is what this is about. You can use some for economic development. You can use some for correctional or rehab facilities. And then there's, I think, one more. But you have to essentially put your share in there before it's agreed upon. And so what this is about is putting a share of the lit tax, the local income tax, just for public safety employees and services.
Well, that sounds reasonable, but I got to agree with the gentleman that called just before me. Yeah, why are we not looking at a corporate tax as opposed to taxing individuals? I've already disclosed I'm 70 years old and live on a fixed income, but they want to take from me where the corporations are doing well. And
Yeah. You got record profits for some corporations. Obviously, I think a lot of people wonder, maybe if everyone's doing their fair share, if everyone's raising taxes on us, let's also raise taxes on some corporations, right? So
exactly.
All right.
But anyhow, thank you for your time and for taking my call, Nate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, be good. Have a good weekend, buddy. Let's get to another caller. Thanks so much for waiting online. Thanks for listening to the show. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, good to have you. What's your thoughts on it?
I just wanted to share that I'm in support of the LIT. I work in Laporte. I live in Laporte. My wife works in Laporte, and we consider Laporte our home.
Good.
And we know the value of investing in your home, so that home can be a safe place for your children. And so we're willing to, take money out of our own pocket to accomplish that for our family and our friends.
Well, thanks so much for calling. I appreciate that. All right, let's get to one more caller here. Thanks so much for calling. You're our last caller of the day. We will have another conversation on the local income tax, maybe even next week, because I know it's a topic everyone's concerned about and they want to work through together as a community. What's your thoughts on the local income tax?
Yeah, real quick. Let's bear in mind that this will put us above a tax rate of Porter County, okay? Now, let's also bear in mind that the police and the fire department here have many ways to work more efficiently than they do now. Of course, I support both of them, but there are things they do that are not efficient. There's things that they can do to cut down their usage of fuel and many other things. And the second thing is taxing people who have a median income of $30,000 to pay people, some of those people making $60,000, $70,000 a year is lunacy. The other part of it is, I believe it's pretty clear that we can get by with 0.1%, because after that 6% is taken out at the end of the bill paying cycle, there's going to be a couple $1 million left in there that's going to go into the general fund. And what's that going to be used for? So I think that what it comes down to is they can get away with 1%. Or I'm sorry, a 1/10% rather than a whole 0.5%. And I just think this should be looked at really close. I think there's ways to. I think things have been done this way to take care of situations that have already been put in play. And this also goes back to the fact that we're expanding all these roads and all these areas like Thomas roads and all that.
Yep.
And we have to pay for the maintenance.
Hey, thanks so much for calling again. This is that was our final call of the day. We'll have this conversation again. I want to thank so many that called and text. I wish I can get to everyone's. We'll have Mayor Dermody on as well. We'll have people from the county. We could talk about this. I did research real quick. Some other ones, there are counties that are raising this. A lot of people bring up Porter County because they do have a very low lit tax. But just recently in the Northwest Indiana Times, they talked about having to raise it because as the state decreases their tax burden, the counties have to increase theirs to make up for it. So it's almost, Paul paying Peter, borrowing taxes from some legislators want to say they're cutting taxes, but then it leaves to the county